the very least. And speaking of on brand, it's time for our quick hits. I've got two. How many you got, man?
Oh, I got Uno.
Okay, well then I'll just go first and we'll alternate. So my first quick hit of the week, I have to say, it's going to talk about someone who had a bad week just a couple of weeks ago. You know, someone who finished 33rd of the tournament. People were wondering, is this guy washed? Is he going to be out of commission soon? What is the future holding for this individual? You know, okay, whatever. We can toss him to the side. Clearly, he's out of gas. Came back to win CEO. I am talking about none other than Team Liquid's Hungry Box. The person, and Jabali made light of this in his own tweet on, you can look on his timeline, won the first CEO 15 years ago, back before it was even a major, and now is back with the CEO belt in his hands. Congratulations, Hungry Box. It was a 33rd place finish for him at Tipped Off in Atlanta, and I know that stoked his competitive fires because whatever, you know, he might be just a little bit older than the average in the scene now, but he's still one of the five gods of Melee. He's still the guy that elevated Puff and became perhaps the greatest Melee player of the decade. Was nominated as such by the Esports Award. So it's pretty amazing to see. Like, if you want to talk about persistence, you want to talk about resilience, you are talking about, you know, that it comes down to mentality, and it comes down to not caring all that much about the week to week results. Do not let the numbers get in the way of your actual progress. Congratulations, Hungry Box. It was a victory well earned. And if anyone's doubting you again, you can always show that you're the puff with the stuff. What you got, BG?
Fantastic there, Stu. Well, I want to make you aware of a situation that happened at CEO. There was a guy came dressed during the Tekken Pool tournament as MF Doom, got up on the stage, had a Yankees hat on, and we still
That
to
was
this day do
strike
not
one.
know who this is, but they beat a top player. And then when they won, they went to the camera and put a Charmin tissue roll package in the camera, and then proceed to go behind the curtains and throw this at the commentators of Tekken. I think, Stu, it is time that we propose a rule. We need no Yankee hats at FGC tournaments. That's right. And
Yep.
hey, if once the I saw the Yankee hat, that was the problem. Hey, we need to stop this. This is a serious matter. Jabali Tong, if you see this, I want you guys to join the movement of no Yankee hats at FGC tournaments. I knew once I saw the Yankee hat, it was going to be real bad issues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, MF Doom,
Yes.
rest in peace. You definitely don't need that kind of shenanigans. And yeah, that was my term. I want you to be aware because yeah, that's just not going to happen. So yeah, in 2025, say no to Yankees hats at FGC tournaments. You can go ahead, Stu.
No, I don't want to blow your spot, but I didn't actually mention this. I casted for
Pathetic.
that. No, I casted that guy. The Wednesday
Oh,
before he
okay.
was in an
Well, give me
online
his
tournament. Is
information.
Joe Budden? He's a
I'll hit him.
Claudio main, and
Oh, his
I
name is Joe Budden.
yeah no I
Figure.
Joe Budden, yeah, no, like his tag was Joe Budden.
Mm,
I don't know, but yeah, no, he can I casted his set for a
mm.
breakout stream the Wednesday before the tournament. I'm so
Sorry
not
you had to
even
deal with
kidding.
that, sir.
I didn't look.
Mm,
I didn't know he was gonna do any head assery like that. That was just
mm,
wild. But like I
mm.
saw that and I saw the tag and I was like, "There's no way." And then I saw
I
he
saw
made
Yankee hat.
Claudio. I'm
That's
like,
all I saw.
"That's
Mm.
oh my god!" Like, and then I
Nope.
realized, yeah, no, he was going for some head ass options too. I'm sorry to blow your spot, but yeah, no, I did cast for that guy. He's legitimately
Mm,
like, it. Anyway,
mm.
um,
Sorry for your pain.
it's all good. You know, there were a few Claudios that contributed to that, but I am going to end on a positive note because CEO also marked the start of the Rivals of Aether, you know, big community tour that they're doing, and I wanted to shout out Ludwig. I wanted to shout out Off Brand Games for starting this whole thing. It's a tour that's going to continue on throughout the summer. Going to go to Evo. It will be at Supernova. Maybe, you know, I'll be doing something there. Who knows? All the way, I believe, through Riptide in September over in Sandusky, Ohio. And yeah, I think it's a really cool thing. Cake Assault, maybe the odds-on favorite, made it to grand finals, but getting knocked off by Sofilo, I believe it was Sofilo from California. And what an amazing performance it was. You know, Cake Assault, a guest on a Chatterboxing coming up, but Yeah. Right now, it's interesting to see the dominance of the established names, the Stangos, the Cake Assaults, the Marlins, being challenged by people on the West Coast. So I'm definitely interested to see how Rivals of Aether 2 develops from here. Obviously, interested to see how Abza and Olympia are going to change the meta going forward. And more than anything else, I love the fact that this is a grassroots game, the grassroots game. It's being started by like a single streamer and his company that are starting up a game and starting a tour and trying to do big things for the platform fighter community. That is always going to have a special place in my heart, and thus it will probably have a permanent spot at the very least in these quick hits.